Hey, everybody out there. I am in the process of making some homemade rolls. This is my second time making them. I made them about maybe 2 months ago. So what I've already done, you guys, I've already tried to prepare some things. I've already warmed up my water, just warm. And I put my active dry yeast in there. I use this brand right here. And I put that in some water, warm water, and I put it in my mixing bowl here. And I've already stirred that around and had it covered and what have you. And then what I did next was I took 1 cup of milk and I boiled it, but not to the point of boiling. You don't want it to boil. Just when it gets real hot, and I took it off the stove and I added a half a stick of butter because I'm only doing a half a recipe. Some people do a full recipe. I don't need all those rolls. So I added a half a cup of butter. I also added a 1/4 cup of sugar and a teaspoon of salt. And I have that all stirred up in here, and I had to let it get cool because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this to my yeast mixture right here. Okay, I'm just going to add that down in that bowl with my yeast mixture, okay? Then I'm going to stir that up like that, just stir it up. Like I said, I'm not making a whole order because it would be too many rolls. So I'm just going to stir that and mix that up with that yeast. And I'm not going to be on here for the whole recipe because I'm going to have to, after I get it all mixed up here, I'm going to have to let this rise for like 2.5 hours. So I'll show you the finished product. So I'm just going to stir that up in there like that. And then I'm going to take 1 egg. I put 1 egg down in this bowl and I'm going to beat it. Just beat it real good, and then I'm going to add that to that mixture like that. My grandmama used to make these rolls. And I looked online because I never got her recipe. Now I'm going to stir that egg up in there real nice. I never got her recipe, so I had to search online, search to try to find a roll that was familiar looking to my grandmother's. And I'm not going to talk to anybody in case anybody is coming on here because I don't want to answer questions until later because I'm trying to get done. Okay, now the recipe that I found called for 8 cups of flour, but I'm only using 4. And you're to put that flour in there 1 cup at a time. Okay, and then I'm going to put my mixer down and turn that little boy on low. Just let that mix up in there like that. And then I'm going to get another cup. I have 4 cups over here. Let that just mix up in there. And I'm going to add another cup. Let that mix up in there like that. Yeah, I don't know, dear, if you can come a little closer and get down in this bowl so they can see what it's doing down inside that bowl. It's just down in there. Mix it, mix it. Okay? Then I'm going to get another cup. 4 cups, you guys. I'm going to throw another cup down in there. Let that all mix up.
Even though you're not answering questions, you may want to tell the people who just joined what it is that you're making.
Okay, what I'm making is homemade yeast rolls. My grandmother used to make these rolls back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, all when we were growing up in the 70s. And now I'm trying to make them. And I know they're probably not going to taste like hers. I made 1 batch about two months ago, and they weren't bad. That was my first time making them. Now this is my second time. And I've already oiled my pans. Just oil your pans. I have a bowl here that I oil because I'm gonna put this dough in this bowl so that the dough can rise. Let me put this last little cup down in there. This is a long process, so I can't be on here to show you the total process because it's a long process. It takes about 4 hours, a little over 4 hours to make this. And nobody's going to be on here watching 4 hours me trying to make some rolls. I'm going to get that as much as I can mixed up there. And I don't want to mix it too much. What I did is I have a cutting board here, and I've already floured my cutting board. And you don't want to put too much flour. I just raised it a little bit with some flour, okay? So what I'm going to do is, I hope y'all watching here. I'm going to turn this mixer off, and I'm going to lift my dough hooks up. Now this is where I have to put on some gloves because I don't want all of that sticky dough all up in my fingernails and everywhere. Plus, anytime you're touching food, this is just a little extra sanitary method. Although I always wash my hands before I start cooking anything. And I cover my hair because I don't want hair in my food. And I also put on an apron for my splashes. So I'm just going to take all of that dough, it's very sticky, and I'm going to take it out of this bowl, and I'm going to put it on my floured cutting board here. Like I said, I'm only doing a half of a recipe because I would have rolls coming out of my everything. Ooh. Ooh, I hope my titty ain't coming out on the side. Titty coming out. So what I'm gonna do is just sort of roll this up in that flour mixture. They call this kneading. I'm not gonna knead it too much. As much of that off of my hands. See, this is why I have to have on gloves. That would be all over my hands. What I'm going to do is put just a little more flour. Not much. I don't want a lot of flour. I don't want it to take away from, make this too floury. If somebody know better methods, let me know. Because like I said, I'm trying to learn this here before I die. So I'm just gonna get that flour mixture all up in there. They call it kneading. I don't want to knead it too much because I don't want them to be tough. I want them to be soft. Just a few little kneads. Sort of push it away from you. Yes, I'm liking that consistency. But I don't want to do it too long. Some people recommend that you do this about 5 minutes. I'm going to do it maybe about 3. I didn't really look at the time when I started. This is gonna give me about three dozen, just with this 4 cups of flour. Okay? I don't want to do it too much. Okay, now I have my bowl here all greased, because the purpose of this is so that this dough doesn't stick to the bowl while it's rising. So I'm just going to lift up this dough and put this bad boy down in this bowl like this. Now, you have to let it rise for 2 hours in this bowl. And when it's done rising, it's gonna swell up. It's gonna be probably almost twice as big as this. And then that's when you're gonna take it down, and you're gonna put it back on your cutting board, and you're gonna cut them like your desired look of what you want the rolls to look like. Last time I basically just rolled them, but I think this time I'm gonna lay them out and cut them into about 4 sections, spread them out real flat, and I'm gonna take a glass. Remember you used to put the glass down in there? And cut them out like that. So what I need to do now, got my gloves off, I wanna take some saran wrap. Have that right over here. I have a piece, but I don't think that's gonna cover that whole bowl. So I'm gonna take some of this saran wrap, and I'm gonna cover that real nice like that. Okay? I don't like saran wrap. I can't stand it because I can't never cut it. This has a little cutter on it, so it makes it nicer. So I'm gonna cover that like that. Okay? See that? That's all covered. And then I'm gonna take a nice clean towel, I'm gonna cover it with a nice clean towel. I remember when my grandmother used to do this. She used to set it up on the top of the refrigerator. Seemed like them things was rising for 5 hours. When you're kids, everything seems slow. But what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna set this in a warm part of the kitchen, which the warmest part is my microwave. I'm just gonna set this bowl up there and put it in the microwave. What I like to do is write down my time. Right now that clock on the stove says 2:13, because I am menopausal, and if I don't write it down, I'll be like, what time did I put them rolls up there? So now it's 2:13, so that I know that at 4:13, it's time to take those out, and I'm gonna put them back on my floured cutting board. I'm gonna knead them a little bit, just a little, and roll them out flat, cut them in sections, and then I'm gonna cut them and fold them over, put them in my greased pans, and then I got to cover them again and let them rise again for 30 more minutes. 30 more minutes, and then after that 30 minutes, then I'm gonna melt some butter, just a little bit, and I'm gonna slap that butter all on the top of them, not too much. And then I'm gonna stick them in the oven, and I'm gonna let them bake for the desired time. I don't have that down here written right now, but it's not that long. It's about maybe 15 to 18 minutes baking at the most. When you start seeing them get brown, it's time to take them out, because you don't wanna overcook them. And once you take them out of the oven, then that's when you wanna take some more butter and just really saturate the top of them. Just saturate, let that butter get all up in betwixt there. And then you let them just cool, and they're ready to go. And then I'll bag them up, and then they'll be ready to be served. So that's my little quickie on my rolls. Like I said, it's a long process. I'll probably be 5 o'clock by the time I get these rolls ready. So anyway.
What temperature will your oven be at?
My oven will be at 350. 350, my oven.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
And so right before, I put them in there, I'm going to preheat my oven. Once they're ready to go, I know they're ready to go in, I'm going to preheat my oven to 350. And if that's not the right temperature, because I'm trying to go on memory from last time, I'll put it in my notes on my Facebook page under this post. So anyway, that's it for today. You guys have a wonderful day, and after they're all done, I'll show you the finished product, okay? Always know that the queen love herself. She love all these ingredients that she put in her rolls. She love all of that. And she also love y'all to life. Happy holiday to you. I'm gone. Let me jump over here with my hubby. Oh, yes. Let me flip this. All right, here we go. This is my photographer. So, anywho, we're gone. Bye.
Go Jackson State.
Dear, I wish you wouldn't do that on my damn video. I put the roll mixture in my greased bowl. I covered with saran wrap. Now I'm going to cover with a towel. And I'm going to put this bowl in my microwave. It's covered in the warm part of my house, which is my microwave, for 2 hours. I'm going to let these rise. I have my baking pans well oiled so that I will put my rolls in there when they're done rising. Here is my dough after rising, okay? It's much bigger than when I put it in. Now what I'm going to do is punch it. Punch it. Punch it. There you go. I have floured down my cutting board. Going to take my dough out of the bowl and put it on my flour cutting board, just like that. Then I'm going to knead it. Just a little more flour. Not much. Knead. I'm going to do this for about 5 minutes. There you go, a nice long piece of dough. Then I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to cut 4 even sections. Well, actually 5. Then I will cut into small sections so that I can form my rolls. I'll be back. I pat them down and then I fold them over and put them in the pan. Not too close together. I have 2 pans that I'm getting ready to let rise again for 30 minutes. Preheat oven at 375. Lightly butter. Just lightly. in the oven at 375 degrees. I'm going to let bake for 15 to 18 minutes only. You do not want to overbake them. When they start to brown, then they're ready to come out. Now I'm saturating them in butter. Saturate, saturate. Ooh, I just took them out the oven. They are so pretty. I'm saturating them. Ooh, saturate. Saturate, saturate. Oh, yummy, yum, yum, yum. Mmm. Mmm. Delicious. Mmm. Homemade yeast rolls. Mmm.